Hey everyone, welcome to Journey with Josiah. Today I'm joining you from my college dorm here in Michigan, and I'm just packing up to go home for Thanksgiving. I'll be taking you along with me. I'm flying on board Southwest Airlines' Boeing 737 MAX today, just a short hop down to Baltimore in Maryland. Been on Southwest before. They do things a little bit differently, so there's some positives and some negatives which I'll go over with you today. But without further ado, let's get to the airport. This evening, I'll be flying on one of Southwest's newest aircraft, a Boeing 737 MAX 8 delivered new to the airline in March of 2023. Southwest is the world's largest customer of the MAX, with almost 700 ordered from Boeing and over 200 currently in service across the United States. At the time of filming and up until the end of 2025, Southwest is using a unique boarding process where instead of being assigned a seat and a group number, you are given a boarding position and free to choose any open seats on the plane. I did not pay for any priority boarding and simply checked in exactly 24 hours before departure and was able to score a boarding position in the low Bs, giving me lots of open seats in the plane to choose from. At the time of filming, Southwest had the most generous bag policy in the nation by allowing 2 free bags for every passenger. They now have changed this and are charging fees for checked baggage like every other airline. You're still allowed a free carry-on and personal item. The changes in boarding and baggage policy are part of a whole series of changes at Southwest that I will give my thoughts on towards the end of the review. On board, there are 175 economy seats in the standard 3-3 configuration. Tonight's mood lighting is not supposed to give you the feeling of a haunted house, but of the Christmas season. Being a brand new plane, the overhead bin space is great and can fit everyone's carry-ons. I went ahead and chose seat 21A, a window seat on the left side of the plane. The seats are sleek, modern, and pretty comfortable. They also include a great movable headrest. On the back of the seat in front of you, you'll find a built-in literature pocket with some information on Wi-Fi, snacks, and the safety card. The tray table comes out like this and is pretty sturdy. Down here you'll find a small seatback pocket which is just big enough to fit your essential items. Pitch is an awesome 33 inches, giving you some of the best legroom in the nation. However, as I'll explain later, this too is unfortunately going away soon. The seats also feature a standard recline function. Up in the overhead panel you'll find a useful reading light, air vent, and call button. Be aware that there is no power outlet underneath the seat for charging laptops, but there are both USB and USB-C ports in front of you. The trip down to the old line state involves a flying distance of just over 800 miles over an hour and a half flight duration. Right after takeoff, the crew came around and took orders for beverages. Water, juices, and sodas are complimentary, while alcohol is available for purchase. The one thing I did notice is that there was no snacks or food whatsoever on the menu. In the meantime, I took a look at some of the entertainment options. By connecting to the Southwest Wi-Fi, you can access a handful of movies, TV shows, and live TV. You're also able to text for free using iMessages or WhatsApp. Wi-Fi costs $8, which is on the lower ends of airline Wi-Fi, but Delta is still the cheapest. The snack today was a small bag of pretzels. To drink, I got my favorite cran apple juice. Overall, the meal service was pretty standard. My only criticism is that if you were more hungry, there would be no snacks available for you to buy. And just like that, we began our descent into Baltimore. Let me now take some time to go over my thoughts on Southwest Airlines, and I'll start with the positives. First, I found the plane to be modern. From the mood lighting to the USB-C charging, all the state-of-the-art technology was on board and contributed to a better passenger experience. Second, the crew were amazing. The lead cabin crew was cracking hilarious jokes over the intercom the entire flight and contributed to an already very joyful environment on board. If it weren't for Southwest policy changes, my list of positives would have been much longer and my list of negatives would have been non-existent. I walked away from this flight feeling amazed. I had spent the same amount of money I would have spent on any other airline and got so much more. Free bags, the freedom to choose my own seat, and a super comfortable seat at that. But this will soon all be gone. That's the big negative, the policy changes. I'm not qualified by any means whatsoever to judge whether this was the right financial decision or not for the airline to make, but I can say that it has a very negative impact on customer experience. In addition to getting rid of free bags and seat choice, Southwest also just announced that they're adding extra legroom premium seats to their planes, meaning that all the regular seats, like the one I was in today and like the one you would probably be in, will have a decrease in legroom. So here's the question then. Is Southwest worth it? On this route, Delta is charging the exact same as Southwest. Before the policy changes, you would get a better money's worth on Southwest, considering the free bags, seat choice, and legroom. But now, you have to pay for all of that. So I would say no, Southwest is not worth it unless the price of the flight is lower than a Delta, United, or American flight. If it's the same price, like this route currently, or a higher price, then it would be better to take Delta with their seatback entertainment, customer service, and better snack options. Without Southwest's old added bonus, they no longer provide the better money's worth. My goal is to provide my viewers with honest reviews, and this is my honest opinion. It's not that you would get a bad experience whatsoever with Southwest, don't get me wrong. It's just that now there are better options out there if you want to get better value for your money. I put a pinned comment below with links to the policy changes and other useful travel information that you're definitely welcome to check out. And welcome to Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you so much for checking out this review. I hope it was helpful for you and your own travels. If you have any questions or suggestions whatsoever, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I look forward to being able to be with you again in another review. But until then, take care, God bless, and keep flying.
On behalf of this flight crew at Southwest Airlines, welcome to Baltimore. You may now use the cellular phone